They were the faces we admired on our television screens and in cinema halls. Their smiles lit up glossy magazine covers, and their names echoed in homes across the nation. But then, all of a sudden, they disappeared. These are the 15 child icons who once had the world in the palm of their hands, legendary names from the golden age of Hollywood. What truly unfolded when the cameras stopped rolling? Some of their journeys will break your spirit. Others might just rekindle your belief in humanity. Let's delve into these unforgettable tales, one by one, starting with Number 15, Deanna Durban. Few child performers ever reached the global stardom Durban achieved during the late 1930s and early 1940s. Her crystal-clear soprano and radiant charm made her Universal's top asset, credited with pulling the studio out of bankruptcy. Her fame was staggering. Her fan club once surpassed every other star's in size. By 21, she ranked as America's second highest paid lady, behind only Bette Davis, earning $400,000 per film. But at the height of her power, Deanna shocked Hollywood. She was leaving it all behind. At 27, she retired completely, turning down a $200,000 per year deal. After her final film, For the Love of Mary, 1949, she disappeared from public view. She relocated to a village near Paris, married producer Charles David, and for 64 years declined interviews and rejected all comeback offers. Many modern Americans have never even heard her name. When asked why she left, she said, "I was never happy in Hollywood." Sadly, Deanna passed away in 2013, forever untouched by the spotlight again. Number 14, Jackie Kugan. Jackie holds the title of Hollywood's first true child superstar. Discovered by Charlie Chaplin at age 7, he was cast in The Kid, 1921, where his heartfelt performance as the abandoned child captivated audiences. His fame exploded. His face was printed on toys, clothes, and cereals. His haircut became a national trend. By 10, Jackie had earned an estimated $4 million, around $60 million if you calculate today, all due to his extraordinary screen talent. But when he turned 21, the fairy tale ended. Jackie discovered his mother and stepfather had spent nearly all of it on diamonds, cars, and mansions. Only $126,000 remained. His legal battle made headlines and inspired the 1939 California Child Actors Bill, now known as the Kugan Law, protecting minors' earnings. Though he acted throughout adulthood, he never reclaimed his early fame. Later generations remember him as Uncle Fester in the Addams Family TV series. Yet Jackie's lasting legacy lies in the protections his personal loss created for every child actor that followed. Number 13, Claude Gar Jr. When the yearling debuted in 1946, both critics and audiences were captivated by 12-year-old Claude Gar Jr.'s heartfelt portrayal of Jodie Baxter. His moving performance of a boy and his beloved deer in backcountry Florida earned him an Academy Juvenile Award and hinted at a promising future in film. Yet by the early 1950s, Claude's name faded from marquees and his image vanished from the big screen. What became of the young actor who once starred alongside Gregory Peck and Jane Wyman? Unlike many peers ousted by the system, Claude made the rare decision to leave Hollywood by choice. As a teen, he realized academia offered more certainty than the unstable movie world. After thoughtful roles like Intruder in the Dust, Claude returned to Tennessee to finish school. He later attended Vanderbilt, served in the Navy, and ultimately became executive director of the San Francisco International Film Festival for 15 years. Now 90, Claude occasionally shares memories of his brief, meaningful cinematic legacy. Number 12, Bobby Driscoll. Bobby Driscoll wasn't just another young performer. He was Disney's original signed child star, the voice behind Peter Pan and the face of Treasure Island. With an Academy Juvenile Award at just 12 for The Window and So Dear to My Heart, his future looked unstoppable. But then puberty struck hard. His cherub-like features, once his ticket to stardom, began shifting. Acne pocked his complexion. His beautiful, youthful appeal faded. Walt Disney, who had once embraced Bobby like a son, abruptly canceled his contract in 1953, just 3 years after Treasure Island. Studio insiders said Bobby had grown difficult, but the truth was far more brutal. He no longer matched the image they banked on. Branded a has-been at 16, Bobby fell into drugs and petty crime. His parents, desperate, sent him to rehab, but it barely helped. By his 20s, he was lost to heroin and arrests. In 1968, kids found his body in a rundown building. 2 years later, it was confirmed Bobby Driscoll died at 31. Well, this is heartbreaking. Number 11. Tommy Reddig. For many American families in the 1950s, Tommy Reddig was Jeff Miller, the first boy to bond with the beloved collie in the Lassie television series. With his wholesome charm and genuine connection to the canine star, Tommy became a household favorite and one of the era's most recognized child actors. But his relationship with fame was uneasy. By 14, he felt confined by celebrity and yearned for normalcy. To the surprise of producers, he requested release from his Lassie contract, walking away from what others saw as a dream role. Life after Lassie proved difficult. Casting agents saw him only as that boy with the dog. Roles dwindled. In the 1960s, Tommy was arrested for cultivating marijuana, further damaging his acting prospects. He drifted through jobs, from field laborer to tech worker. Ironically, it was in programming where he thrived. Becoming a respected database specialist, author, and consultant, Tommy built a second act far from Hollywood. He died in 1996 at 54, a life rewritten through reinvention. Number 10. Margaret OBrien. Unlike Bobby's super tragic downfall, Margaret's journey follows a more uplifting arc. As a child, she mesmerized audiences with remarkable depth in classics like Meet Me in St. Louis, starring alongside Judy Garland. Her portrayal of Tootie Smith earned her a Special Academy Juvenile Award, and her uncanny ability to cry on demand made her one of MGM's most bankable child actors. But by the early 1950s, her film career slowed. The shift from charming child to adolescent wasn't easy, and roles dwindled. Instead of clinging to shrinking fame, Margaret chose to exit on her own terms. What followed flipped the usual narrative. She pursued academics, built a private life, and married, stepping back from Hollywood without resentment. Occasionally, she returned for small TV and stage roles, but never chased her old spotlight. Now 88, she lives peacefully in California. She is financially stable and warmly remembered, not like others. She's among the last living stars of Hollywood's golden era, her spirit and smile still intact. Number 9. Shirley Temple. No list of child stars can begin without Shirley Temple, the most iconic young performer in Hollywood history. With her bouncing curls and radiant dimples, she lifted national morale during the Great Depression. By age 7, she was earning $50,000 per film, nearly $1 million today, and merchandising profits from dolls to fashion lines generated millions more. But even the brightest stars must grow up. As Shirley matured, her box office appeal plummeted. 20th Century Fox, which had profited immensely from her fame, ended her contract at age 12. A few teenage roles followed, including a failed audition for The Wizard of Oz, but by 22, she retired from acting. Unlike many peers who faded into obscurity, Shirley Temple Black built a powerful second act. She entered politics, served as a UN delegate, and later became U.S. ambassador to Ghana and Czechoslovakia. Dignified and rarely bitter, she once said, "I have one piece of advice for those wanting to act. Don't." She passed in 2014, never irrelevant, just transformed. Number 8. Diana Sarah Carey. Well before Shirley Temple's curls danced across movie screens, there was Baby Peggy, one of the earliest child sensations of the silent film era. From 1921 to 1924, this tiny actress starred in more than 150 shorts and multiple features, becoming a global icon before age 6. With her signature bob haircut and serious gaze, she entertained millions by spoofing adult film stars like Rudolph Valentino and Pola Negri. At her peak, Baby Peggy earned $1.5 million per year, about $23 million today, supporting her entire family and receiving over 1.7 million fan letters. But her fame came at a brutal cost. Her cowboy father-turned-manager controlled everything, forcing her into grueling 8-hour shoots 6 days a week with no schooling or childhood. Exhaustion was met with ice pressed to her face. Her career collapsed in 1925 due to his clashes with producers and reckless spending. She later changed her name to Diana Sarah Carey, eventually emerging as a writer and fierce advocate for child actors' rights. Number 7. Kevin Corkran. Disney fans of the 1950s and 60s immediately recognized Kevin Corkran as Moochie, the spirited, freckle-faced embodiment of post-war boyhood. He starred in the Mickey Mouse Club's Spin and Marty series, as well as family classics like Old Yeller, The Shaggy Dog, and Swiss Family Robinson. Walt Disney took a personal interest in shaping Kevin's image as the ultimate kid brother. But unlike many child actors, Kevin understood early that his future might lie off-camera. After studying theater at Cal State, he transitioned seamlessly into producing and assistant directing. He thrived behind the scenes, contributing to shows like Quantum Leap, Baywatch, and Murder, she wrote. His second career outlasted his first, rare for child stars. Drawing from his own youth on set, Kevin became especially adept at working with young actors. When he died in 2015 from colorectal cancer at age 66, he left behind a rare dual legacy, first as a beloved Disney icon and later as a respected force behind the lens. Number 6. Beverly Washburn. With wide, expressive eyes and genuine emotional depth, Beverly Washburn became one of the most dependable child actresses of the 1950s. While she never reached the megastar status of her peers, audiences knew her from countless television staples, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Leave It to Beaver, and heartwarming films like Old Yeller and Shane. Her range and ability to cry on cue kept her in steady demand into her teen years. Unlike many child actors, Beverly navigated the difficult transition to adulthood with relative calm. Though leading roles faded, she remained a working actress well into the 70s, finally easing into smaller parts and occasional appearances. When roles thinned out, she bowed out quietly, focusing on family and the occasional film festival. Today, at 81, she lives in Las Vegas, often attending fan events and sharing her story. Her memoir, Real Tears, offers a grounded, honest view of child stardom, free from bitterness or exaggeration. Beverly's path shows how quiet dignity can outlast noisy fame. Number 5. Brandon DeWilde. With his golden hair and striking blue eyes, Brandon left a lasting mark in Shane, delivering the unforgettable line, "Shane, come back, that still echoes through film history. His performance earned him an Academy Award nomination at just 11, making him one of the youngest contenders ever. Unlike many young actors who struggle to transition, he smoothly moved into teen roles in films like HUD, alongside Paul Newman, and television series like The Virginian. His trajectory pointed toward a long, celebrated career. But fate had other plans. In July 1972, while driving near Denver, Colorado, Brandon lost control and collided with a parked truck. He died at just 30. The boy who once cried for Shane would never return to the screen himself. Critics say Brandon had the potential to become one of his era's great character actors. Instead, his legacy remains frozen at 17 films, a brief but impactful body of work, and a life cut short. Number 4. John Provost. When John Provos joined Lassie in 1957 as Timmy Martin, he stepped into one of TV's most iconic child roles. For 7 years, he and the loyal collie captivated millions, making his young face one of the most recognizable in America. At the show's peak, John received over 2,000 fan letters weekly. With golden hair and honest eyes, he became the face of 1950s wholesome entertainment. Unlike Tommy Reddig before him, John left Lassie by mutual agreement at 14, deciding he'd outgrown the role. Timmy's family was written off the show, moving to Australia, with Lassie conveniently finding her way back to new owners. After Lassie, acting roles dwindled. Rather than cling to fading fame, John pursued college and launched a new life in real estate development in Northern California. He married, raised a family, and quietly stepped away from the spotlight. Now 75, John occasionally appears at fan events and authored a memoir, Timmy's in the Well, proof that not every child star's exit ends in heartbreak. Number 3. Freddy Bartholomew. In the 1930s, few child actors rivaled Freddy's poise and emotional finesse. With his refined accent, impeccable manners, and commanding screen presence, he became MGM's answer to Shirley Temple, starring in David Copperfield, Little Lord Fauntleroy, and Captains Courageous. At his height, Freddy earned $2,500 per week, a fortune during the Depression. But behind the polished image lay painful family conflict. Born in London to struggling parents, he was sent to live with an aunt who believed in his talent and brought him to U.S. After he rose to stardom, his biological parents returned, launching a public, bitter custody battle aimed at accessing his earnings. Legal fees drained much of his fortune. As he aged, studios lost interest. MGM dropped him at 14. Instead of collapsing, Freddy redefined himself. He served in World War II, then moved into advertising, eventually becoming an award-winning executive in New York. When he passed in 1992 at 67, few knew the TV legend in their office was once Hollywood royalty. Number 2. Gloria Jean. With her angelic soprano and radiant presence, Jean was once positioned to succeed Deanna Durban as Universal's next musical darling. Making her debut in The Under-Pup, she starred in a string of musicals that highlighted her voice and charm, including several with comic favorite Donald O'Connor. By 21, she'd appeared in over 20 films. But as public taste shifted in the late 1940s, her genre fell out of favor. Universal chose not to renew her contract, and later roles failed to reignite her momentum. Rather than chase elusive fame, Gloria made a grounded decision, leaving the industry for stability. By the early 1950s, she had transitioned to a job at Reddig Laboratories, later becoming an executive receptionist. She lived privately, raising her son, keeping ties with a few in the industry. When asked about her exit, she simply said, "When it was time to move on, I moved on." And she was one of my favorite actresses of all time. Number 1. Scotty Beckett. Wearing his tilted newsboy cap and flashing a mischievous grin, Scotty won hearts as one of the original Little Rascals in the Our Gang series. Later, he smoothly transitioned to feature films, portraying young versions of stars like Frederick March and Spencer Tracy, and notably, young Al Jolson in The Jolson Story. Throughout the 30s and 40s, Scotty's career thrived, avoiding the early burnout many child actors faced. As a teen, he landed a recurring role in Rocky Jones, Space Ranger, appearing to defy the child star curse. But off-screen, tragedy brewed. His father's death at 14 sent him into emotional chaos. By his late teens, Scotty had turned to alcohol, drugs, and reckless behavior. His personal unraveling accelerated during the 50s, marriages failed, arrests piled up, and his career dissolved. In 1968, after a mysterious assault, he was found dead in a nursing home from a barbiturate overdose. He was just 38. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.